So anyway, what I was saying is the independent investigation, which I believe my father is a consultant. He's not an attorney. A lot of this stuff, especially with the healthcare and a lot of the other stuff, that's kind of out of his. I mean, he really only had a high school education. He he was he was an advisor to the Kennedys because of his math genius. He advanced in high school, and he was because he was poor Native American. They saw the Vietnam War was coming down the pike. Might have been already ongoing. No, he graduated in '60, but he skipped his junior year in high school. He went straight to his senior year. So when he got his high school diploma, he was 17. That's why he was able to go into the Navy. And he emancipated himself from the draft. And they're like, okay, you a smart guy, are you? All right, wise guy. And I guess after testing him, they found out he was he was able to test out of his junior year and go straight to his senior year. And he was a sniper. He was counterterrorism, counterinsurgency. I mean, that's kind of our specialty. We're not lawyers. We know the Constitution, and we are logicians, and we know when something stinks. We may not know what exactly the problem is and why it isn't making sense and what's causing it, but whatever. So, especially when I have his people that I believe are working for him know where I'm going to be at any given moment and can actually beat me there. That means him and his team are privy to the surveillance, which is what my whole point was. After I spoke with the two state troopers, I got distracted. I had an hour and 15 minutes to get back up to the bus station. I talked to them probably 15 minutes after 8, so I had an hour. When I head up to catch the 9:15, the two state troopers that never asked the name, never asked the gender, never asked where it happened or what happened, were standing right in the spot where Kinnear was stalking me, where I was cussing him out, telling him he was going to end up like Epstein or Jimmy Hoffa, and then shagged ass when I said, okay, I'm going to go talk to the state troopers. Since you say you're Homeland Security and you're the police and that's your justification for being in my face, come tell the state troopers you're the police. Oh, he shagged ass. Bill Kinnear. Well, the troopers were standing right there, hoping he would come back. Or signaling to him, come on back, we got something for you. I didn't tell him where it happened. My point is, that's how good their surveillance is. When I went into the sheriff's department, I would say these people or these guys, and they would start spitting out their names. They already knew who the fuck was who. We're talking about the assassination of a sitting president and trillions of dollars being stolen from the treasury that's harming active military, forcing them to participate in drug trafficking, which is a bioweapon, when you've got the crime bill. Matters to national security. Of course, they're going to have, I mean, go watch the movie Enemy of the State with Gene Hackman and Will Smith. So, my point is, with all that surveillance, that's exactly why I told in my email to Robin, I said, Robin, you do whatever they tell you to do because they've got surveillance on all of us. They even have lawyers going into AA. They've got surveillance on everybody in AA's phone on the off chance they might be one of my support people. And when I go to hook up with other people and help other people in recovery on the street, they end up dead or tortured by police. So that's a terrorist organization. Nobody's going to fault this franchise for saying, well, we're ran by terrorists anyway, screw it, I'm going to do whatever I'm going to do. It's just human nature. But you're not killing people, you're not a hospital. Your health violations are nothing compared to what the hospital did. They're literally killing people. Hospitals are the new ovens. Um, any other stuff, I mean, maybe you have to go contract all your meat from the same place. Imagine you blow the whistle on this as a franchise and all your under management support you and you blow the whistle on Michaela's husband. She's going to be fine. She's going to be a multi-gazillionaire. Um, she ain't going to miss him. Um, Now, she's got a daughter, but my understanding is the daughter really is more, for whatever reason, dependent on mom, Michaela. Um, I mean, you still got to have a daddy figure, but she's young enough. Michaela's not, I don't think she's going to have any problem finding a male father figure. Um, Not that I'm making those decisions for anybody. I'm just saying. I have to think about all of this. I have power over people's lives. And being an assassin doesn't mean you go around killing people. That's not what that's about. It's about sometimes you do have to do that in extreme situations, but I don't like that. I don't like having to do that. I'm more proud of converting liabilities, people who were behaving badly because they're surrounded by terrorists and probably have no other choice. I mean, yeah, some things you have a choice in, but I mean, when you're already in the in the in the in the everything, your entire business is reliant on the mafia. Of course, there's going to be, timers aren't going to be, food isn't going to be tossed out the right time or whatever. But what I'm saying is, I pride myself on being able to convert people over to my side and building a unit. Imagine you have all your stores, and maybe you would like to be able to provide your meat for your Big Macs or your double quarter pounder or quarter pound, whatever, McDoubles. Maybe you'd like to be able to source that locally, or your milk or your eggs. Maybe you wouldn't want to have to source it from some abusive dairy farmer that's shoving their hand up a cow's uterus and doing artificial insemination and then killing, if she has a boy, they kill it or whatever. Maybe you don't want to do that. Maybe you personally would prefer not to do that as a business owner. Hell, you could make so much money off whistleblowing as the franchisee because you can blow the whistle on the whole shebang. You could have your own farms and raise your own cows your own way. And your own, I mean, honestly, you would have the freedom to do that. And then, yeah, maybe you do pay outrageous rent or mortgage. That's only because the Pomerlos and the Shelburns and Redstone and the two other families have a fucking monopoly on the real estate. That's going to end. You have to pay your employees 18 and 20 and however much an hour so that they can pay rent they can afford to pay rent and their utilities, you're going to bring all that down because you're going to be exposing the Pomerlos and Big Electric and whatever else is going on that ain't supposed to be going on. So rent's going to be lower. It's going to be more like what it should be for this area where there's no industry. So the property value should be very low. It shouldn't cost any more to live here than it did in my little small town in Columbia, Missouri, which was twice the size of Burlington. But the rent was, for a nice 2-bedroom apartment, $350 a month. And utilities, with the whole family living there, was $150. That's running the AC all summer. And the heat all winter. Your cost of living with sewer, power, and rent, $500 a month. You can't even frickin' lease a car for that here. And we actually had industry in Missouri. We had a great big huge craft manufacturing plant. We had, used to be Banquet, now called ConAgra. Lots of farms. I think that was about it. So I'm just saying, you wouldn't have to worry about, oh, well, I'm going to have to pay my employees $30 an hour. No, you're not. They're not going to need that. That's the one thing I disagree with Bernie on. He thinks everybody needs to unionize and fight for $30 an hour. No. How about we lock up BlackRock and Blackstone and Trump and all of Epstein's partners in crime at Vanguard and State Street that have a monopoly on real estate, get the real estate down where it belongs. I mean, people in China are living high on the hog. They make equivalent to $2 an hour because they're billionaires, pay damn taxes, which subsidizes their home, their food, their electricity. So their cost of living is very low. What money they make goes a long damn way. That's real economics. That's economic genius right there. And I'm not promoting communism. I don't want to hear any bullshit about communism. When McDonald's or whoever gets grants from DOJ because they're mandated to honor EEOC and pay a minimum wage, that's socialism. Don't pick and choose. Just think, if billionaires paid their damn taxes, you would get more grants. So unless you're a white supremacist who only wants white people to own businesses and you want all the poor people to be dependent on you, you either work for me under my circumstances or you got nothing. Unless you're an admitted Nazi, this should all sound very good to you. I mean, who could resist being a fucking hero that helps the JFK's cryptologist and his top spook's daughter solve the JFK murder and the RFK murder and the Marilyn Monroe murder, because they are behind it. There's 3. Oh, and you could help solve the Whitney Houston, Michael Jackson, Prince. You wouldn't just be solving these local murders, you'd be solving some of the biggest names ever. That's priceless public relations. Plus you'd be helping get justice for all the Epstein victims. I'm making an offer you'd be damned. You'd have to be a Nazi to refuse it. That's what assassins do. We convert you. We show you how. We give you options. We make you look at things through a different lens. You can be. You can have all kinds of awards and be seen as a global hero to all kinds of trafficking victims and murder victims of I'm a nobody compared to Whitney Houston and Prince and Michael Jackson. And they're trying to kill me the same damn way. Who wouldn't want to be a part of solving those? Or you can go down for being a part of the criminal organization that committed those murders. And all the human trafficking and the drug trafficking and the crap with Dragon and Weinberger. I think that's quite frankly a no-brainer which way I would go. Especially since unless you've been doing some real ugly crap that we don't know about, it doesn't make any sense to me why you wouldn't want that opportunity. And there's so many of your employees here, they can't kill us all. They can't kill all your kids. Individually, look at it, I mean, that's the whole premise behind united we stand, divided we fall. Can't tell you what to do. I'm just saying, you can help me get poetic justice, hire me. I'm not asking for a management position. I'm not going to be asking for $30 an hour or any shit like that. I got no damned expenses. Only thing I got to do is get a membership to Planet Fitness so I can shower every day, twice a day if I want to, and do my laundry, both right across the street. And my shelter's so well hidden, I could build a damn log cabin and nobody'd know it. Hey,
How are you?
pretty good. Unlimited availability. So I have to put that out there so that if for whatever reason I'm not hired, I'm not going to make any allegations. I'm not going to have to. You're going to be telling on yourself. You're going to be saying, oh shit. That's how I get confessions. I give you all these wonderful options, and when you don't take them, you're telling the state police and the New York police that you got a whole lot of other shit going on that you don't want found out about. But also remember, my oath was to a criminal defense attorney. I'm supposed to counsel you. You're using him as a lawyer, and his pal at Michaela's husband as a lawyer who are giving you very bad legal advice. Legal advice that isn't protected under attorney-client privilege because of the crime fraud exception. So your lawyers are under investigation too. Now, if your lawyers are the ones telling you to do this shit, make sure you name them too. You don't need their permission to. Just because your lawyers tell you to commit crimes don't mean you have to do it. Even lawyers that work for ICE and Border Patrol. Let's say you're hiring illegals. That's still nothing compared to the crimes you're going to be. What we do as feds is we weigh the situation. Have you done a bunch of silly shit? Yeah. What would be if you were convicted? What would be the punishment? Some fines. Okay, I doubt I can pretty I can pretty well guess that the special prosecutors would be happy to give you immunity on all of your previous whatever in exchange for rolling on the criminal organization that assassinated the U.S. president, and basically, since the Kennedys were part of that criminal organization who assassinated Marilyn Monroe and committed all these war crimes and genocide. Because you really don't want my father to think you're trying to kill him. That's the last thing you want. You don't even worry about going to prison. If he thinks you're part of this criminal organization that's molesting me and making false criminal allegations against me to make him look bad so you can go after him. Sorry, I got a cold. I don't think I got a cold. For some reason, I got a sinus infection. Good news is I don't need this job. If I don't get this job, I'll get another one somewhere else. I'm getting help with my ID. Um, I'll get help with shoes. Um, I'll be fine. I have to hurl daggers at everybody to keep everybody alive long enough for Dad and the special prosecutors to see who's who and what's going on. But trust and believe, you need me way more than I need you. I don't know what's going on with the restraining order, but I know if the police told me to do it, usually when they're telling me to go somewhere and ask for help, it's so they can see who doesn't help me. So if they're not, if they're and they've got surveillance, we already know one of the, I don't know what his damn position is. I don't think he's a bailiff because he didn't have a badge or anything. He's probably just a court clerk. I'm really not sure what the hell he was. We know he's involved. Um, they're basically just sorting shit out, seeing who's what and who's who. But if you want to separate yourself from the McDonald's corporate and McDonald's franchise that's been trying to kill me and kill my father, hiring me is your opportunity as long as you don't have no moles here, which there was one here last night. Maybe two. Maybe two. So for those of you in the New York and Vermont investigation, a lot of the crap I'm posting about Vermont being a hellhole, that's for a reason. Let's just say I'm hearing a lot of that back. So if it don't apply, let it fly. I can't think of anything else I need to cover. I think that the situation pretty much speaks for itself. Good news is it shouldn't be much of a safety issue for um, the staff here because this is Essex PD. Um, and not hiring me because you don't want Essex PD rolling up and no trespassing PIs, that's liable to happen anyway. They had them all over me downtown. They weren't in here so much this morning, but they were around. They just didn't come in the building. So they're still in play. They just didn't come in the building. But that's going to be the case. And quite frankly, if I want to call the police on a stalker, I don't need anybody's permission to do that, especially when they're stalking me on behalf of whoever stole my identity and went online and committed perjury and forged my name on that online application. When they're stalking me, they're committing crimes against the state of Vermont and the state of New York and the federal government, theoretically, just because this particular federal government is Epstein's regime, just like all the previous ones, just more openly and notoriously. I'm just saying. I can't think of anything else.